Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? So, hey, I wanted to record this video just to continue with my theme of reminding you, pointing out that the real estate market for real estate investors today is as risky as I have ever seen it. I just saw a report from Diana Olick on CNBC talking about the June actuals. And really, the takeaway from it is A, prices are up roughly 5% year on year, and inventory is down. Both of those are national numbers. And as hopefully you know by now, real estate investing is local. The other thing that hopefully if you've been watching this channel long enough, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. I put out original content each and every day to really help you. And hopefully you like that. We do expert videos or expert series. We talk about what I'm doing in my portfolio. But at the end of the day, I am trying to help you. So if you haven't hit subscribe yet, go ahead and do that. And of course, a thumbs up would always be greatly appreciated. But what we always talk about on this channel is consumer behavior and cost of capital. Cost of capital today is going to be low for the foreseeable future. So let's talk about the consumer, and more specifically, how the consumer relates to real estate investing and why this is such a dangerous time. Well, the consumers clearly are saying space is good. We saw numbers from San Francisco just this morning that they're offering, again, a couple of months rent. We have lots of vacant office buildings, and prices actually fell in June. The reason I bring that up is A, if you know the consumers in the big cities like LA, San Francisco, New York, Seattle, Chicago, prefer to no longer rent vertical, and they want to live in the suburbs, it is not the time to do wedge deals. Wedge deals are fun to talk about. Hey, I bought a 650K house for 600 or 575 or 550. And oh, by the way, it's a 100K gain and I'm going to rent it out for break even or probably a loss. Wedge deals in high price markets today, for the most part, are extremely dangerous. If you follow one rental at a time, you know that I only talk about cash flow, real cash flow. I don't bet on appreciation. I don't even count appreciation. And a lot of people that follow the wedge deal approach the last year or two are about to be surprised. They're going to have tenants break leases. They're going to have to offer discounts on leases because the demand isn't there. So if you bought a wedge deal and you were all excited about 100K, but now you're losing 500 a month, and oh, by the way, prices may eventually fall like San Francisco is already falling because it's a demand problem. Demand is leaving, right? Vertical cities, the people want to be in the suburbs. So wedge deals in high-priced, unaffordable markets today are super risky because you may be thinking about an ARV or a value that's wrong. Your prediction for value growth could be wrong and frankly could be spectacularly wrong. I've been doing this 20 years. I've been through a cycle where the high-priced markets got smacked. And many people who owned for appreciation wedge deals gave them back to the bank when they got tired of losing 1,000, 1,500, whatever it is a month. So this is not the time to take on wedge deals in high-priced markets because what you think is a deal may not be a deal in 6 months. Be very, very careful. Then there's the reverse of what I just said. I have been a cash flow investor in a suburb market, right? Fresno is 2.5 hours from where I live. It's a place in California where you can live on 60K a year very comfortably. What is going on with the owner occupants today, the consumers today, is they don't want to rent, they want to buy. Fresno has never Never seen this kind of owner occupant buying. Back in '06 was the last time I sold houses. Most of my buyers were not owners. They were investors. They were investors getting 2 and 28 loans. They were investors getting liar loans. That is very different than today. Owner occupants are buying today. And owner occupants have said, I want to own. And they're doing that in a market where inventory is down 43%. So being a cash flow investor in a market like that is impossible. It is very, very risky. I've been doing this 20 years and I can't bid on anything in the MLS. If for example, it's priced at 200, I need to pay 170, an owner occupant can pay 220. This is the market that some new cash flow real estate investors are in. So be very, very careful. If you are investing for cash flow, like I recommend and talk about in the book, you need to really look at your numbers. You need to really run them. Please don't get in a bidding war. If you run your numbers and you have a good deal at 200, don't go to 222 to beat out an owner occupant. That hurts your cash flow. It takes a good deal to a bad deal, and you're going to feel bad later. It's a really wacky market because the consumers are changing. The consumers clearly are leaving expensive cities and they're moving to the suburbs. This is a change. We are going to have to watch this over time. Where I live in the Bay Area, it might be cheaper in a year, and thus wedge deals would be a bad idea. Fresno could be a lot more expensive. Fresno could see 20% appreciation because owner occupants are keep bidding and bidding and bidding. And now realize, I am not saying buy in Fresno because of appreciation. That's not what I do. I'm saying I can't buy real estate today because it doesn't make sense. I have never seen a crazy market like this. I have never seen the main competition, meaning owner occupants, change so drastically. I've always told you that owner occupants are my competition. Today, it's a feeding frenzy. And I'm afraid that reports like Diana Olick from CNBC just did that says prices are up 4.9%, that's just going to stoke the fire. And prices are going to go up and up and up. And then, oh, by the way, what happens when you don't do a national, but you do it regional? Fresno's up like 11 or 12% from last year. Once that starts hitting the headlines, buyers are going to get more and more excited. I've seen this feeding frenzy before. It's both entertaining to watch, but so dangerous. So, if you are looking to buy in a high price market to flip or to hold for the long term, calling it a wedge deal, please be careful. Run very conservative numbers. What happens if your market falls 5, 7, 8% in a year or two? Do you really have break-even cash flow? What happens if a tenant breaks the lease? What happens if you have to offer 2 months free? What happens if you have to offer a discount? Can you truly hold that property long term? Wedge deals today, very dangerous. But on the other end, so are cash flow rentals. If you're trying to buy your first or next cash flow rental and you are in a market where owner occupants are just banging the offer price, it's tough. Don't get in a bidding war. Keep your powder dry. Learn your market. See what's going on. This will change. I don't know when, but this will change. I have seen real estate markets go up, real estate markets come down, owner occupants be greedy, owner occupants be afraid, investors come and go. We are just in the most remarkable real estate market I have ever seen. And it's all because the consumer behavior is changing, right? Owner occupants are about 67% of the market, and they're changing. And I think it's going to go up because we're going to see Renters from high price markets become owners in the suburbs like Fresno. I had a I looked at a house in Fresno, $1.2 million, 5,000 square feet on a lake, man-made lake, but still a lake. And one of the brokers I work with, I said, "Hey, gorgeous house, tell me about it." It sold in 24 hours to a Silicon Valley executive who doesn't have to work here anymore. I'm like, God, that's happening. I originally thought Fresno would get Silicon Valley money when the high-speed train came in. Nope. It takes a health scare and their employers saying that they can work anywhere. So we're seeing at least one example. Big money Silicon Valley employees choose to live in Fresno. They're living in the nicest parts of Fresno and buying seven-figure houses. Here, my condo is more expensive than that lakefront house. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't know if it's that way in 4 years. That lakefront house is probably worth more than my condo in 4 years. Probably should be. It's a gorgeous house. So again, just hear what I am saying. If you are a new real estate investor, you're excited by all these silly YouTube entertainers, be careful. They have not invested through the mania of an upcycle and seen the ramifications of a down cycle. It's dangerous today, but it's possible. Learn your market, know what a good deal is, know what a bad deal is. It's not getting told no on a bad deal is okay. You don't have to overpay. All right, hopefully that makes sense. I'm both excited and scared for you. It's just a really, really dangerous time. All right, take care.